Hey guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to do an update on 1 month 1 palette for how I did in November and then going forward into December what I'm going to do. So if you're not familiar with 1 month 1 palette, basically what I do and what other people here on YouTube have done, this is not something that I created myself, but what you do is you take an eyeshadow palette and you just use it for the entire month. So instead of rotating through your stash day to day, you kind of do it month to month. So for the month of November, I chose to do this palette from Tarte. This is from their holiday collection last year, and it is the Bon Voyage palette. And this is what my palette looks like today. As far as goals go for this palette, my only goal for the month was to hit pan on this shade here, which you can see that I did. I thought that I would probably hit pan on this shade, which I just did. And then as a bonus, I also hit pan on this shade. I actually used this shade all the time. I used it not only on my eyes, but I used it as a contour shade, and it worked really, really well. The shade is called Merci You Later. All of them have really cute French names, but I really liked using this shade. I thought it was a wonderful contour powder. It was really great for defining in the crease, and then I put it on my lower lash line a lot. I just really, really liked that shade. This highlight shade, like I said, I did hit pan on it, and I hit pan on it pretty early. It's not very pigmented, so you need to use a lot of it, and I'd already had a pretty big dip in it. But I will not be sorry to see this one go because I just don't like it. It's very sparkly, but it just really doesn't show up. And this shade I used every single time I did my makeup. I used it to set my eyeshadow primers. And this shade, I'm actually pretty surprised I didn't have more of a dip in it. I used it also every single time I did my eyeshadow, and I used this as like a transition shade in my crease. As far as like all over the lid shades, I used this shade the most. This is a really pretty gold. I also used this shade a fair amount, the darker gold. And then today I'm actually wearing a combination of these two here. As far as like the rest of the palette, I really didn't use it that much. This black I did use to set my liner a few times. This shade I absolutely hate, and I know I hate it, so I didn't use it at all. I used this green once, I think. It's okay. It's not my favorite. And then these shades down here I didn't really get to. Sorry, hopefully that was in the frame. And I used this shade here on my lid once or twice. It's a little bit dark, but I thought it was kind of pretty. And as far as if I got sick of this palette or not, yes, I'd have to say I did definitely get sick of this palette because I was really just focusing on the same kinds of shadows, and a lot of the shades in here are just very similar to begin with. So yeah, I definitely got sick of it, you know, just using this on my eyelids almost every single day, you know, switching up a little bit with just a darker gold was kind of boring, but the shadows are okay. I don't love all of them. Like I said, this one is pretty crappy, and so is this one that I didn't even touch, but I absolutely love this one, and then the two lid shades that I used were really nice as well. But I am very excited to move on, so let's not talk about this one anymore. Okay, so as far as December goes, there was two eyeshadow palettes that I really was torn between using, so I decided I'm going to do both of them because starting in January, I'm going to be doing a Pan That palette, so I'm not going to be rotating through all my palettes. I'm going to be focusing on one. So I will definitely do a video on that starting in December, or starting in January, sorry. But for this month, I decided I'm going to break it up into two different parts and use two different palettes. So for December 1st through the 15th, I'm going to focus on the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. Now I bought this on sale, I think at the beginning of September, and I've only used it once or twice because that was right around the time that I started this whole series. So I have not played around with this very much, and it is, obviously very much unused. I think, like I said, I used it like maybe twice. So I'm really excited to play around with this. I really love Too Faced as a whole. I've really discovered that brand this year, and I'm really excited to play around with these shadows. As far as goals, it's just to have fun with it because it is so new. I don't think I'm going to hit pan on any of the shades, and yeah, I'm just really excited to play around with this one for the first part of the month. So then moving on to the second half of the month, from December 16th through the 31st, I will be using this bad boy right here. This is the brand new Lorac Pro 2 palette, or Mega Pro 2 palette, I should say. In a moment of weakness, I ordered this off of Ulta's website. I just heard so many wonderful things about the Lorac Pro shadows. I actually have a regular Lorac palette. It was one of the seasonal ones, and that one is really kind of crappy. I don't like it, but I've heard so many wonderful things about this. I just had to try it. And just swatching them, they are absolutely beautiful. So I'm so excited to play around with this. So that's what the palette looks like. Again, as far as goals go, it's just to kind of play around with these, see what shades work, and see what shades, you know, I like best, and just kind of get a feel for the Lorac Pro shadows in general. So yeah, really excited to play around with this. This shade Penny is really calling my name. It just looks so pretty. This shade called Gold Leaf also looks like it's going to be really pretty. And this Goji shade here is pretty unique, so I'm excited to play with with that. These shades all along the top here are pretty similar. So I'll definitely use at least a couple of them as far as like setting my primers and stuff. And then I have a couple of crease shades up here. If you're not familiar, these two rows here, or actually I should probably hold it this way. These two top rows here are all matte, and then these two bottom rows here are all shimmery. Yeah, I cannot wait to play around with this, but it is going to be another 2 weeks before I get to it because I'm going to do the chocolate bar first, but so excited to play around with these. So that is basically it for this update. I'm so excited going into December. I think it was going to be a really good idea to break it up into the 2 different palettes. That way I won't get bored of either of the palettes, but I don't think even if I was to do each of them for a full month that I would get bored with them because they're just so pretty, and especially the Lorac Pro. There's just so many different shades to choose from. So look forward to the Pan That palette series going forward into January. The palette that I've chosen, or that I'm thinking of choosing, is small, so I don't think it's going to take me the entire year to use. So I probably will bring this series back sometime, maybe, you know, June or July next year. We'll see. I definitely have a few other palettes that I kind of want to get through using for a full month, so I'm excited to bring this one back, but I will be putting it on hold for now. And if you're doing a 1 month 1 palette, let me know in the comments down below what you're doing for the month of December. If you've ever done something like this where you've done 2 different palettes for the month. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody else do this, but yeah, I think it's going to work really well for me. So thank you guys so much for watching today. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. We can connect on Instagram too, which I'll leave a link to down below. And I'll see you guys in my next video.